What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and if you've been following the channel, you'll know that I covered a few weeks back a Google patent that essentially would maximize the revenue that EA would make based on difficulty sliders. As an example, if you're playing a soccer game, FIFA for example, it would make individual players faster or slower based on whether or not you were winning or losing the game. It would increase likelihood of getting goals, have bigger options for a worse player. And it also looked at, for example, a player's propensity to buy microtransactions and spend money in the game and find out ways to keep that player in the game longer to maximize profit. This patent was everything you would expect Electronic Arts and big AAA gaming companies to have, but we had evidence that it was in fact in existence, something that they had patented, including games like if you were to play Apex Legends, if you are a worse player, you may have bigger hitboxes on your opponent to help level the game. If you're the type of player that ends up quitting in frustration, it will make the game easier for you. It might make you jump faster, run faster or jump longer just to keep you in the game. And it all looked at ways to maximize the profit the company could make off the player. Now, this is not, I suppose, that earth-shattering, but to see it in written form and patented with the U.S. government was pretty shocking for a lot of players. Now, today, randomly, EA has spoken out about it, and I'm pretty surprised with their response. Now, as far back as a year ago, people have been looking at things like dynamic difficulty. EA are definitely in the business of dynamic difficulty adjustment. A lot of what is in the paper below reflects people's experience in FIFA. If a user experiences gameplay that is too hard or easy, they will stop playing. Therefore, companies seek methods to dynamically adjust the difficulty. Methods involve a seed value for a knob. Think sliders. Knobs are set to maximize the amount of time people will play for. Just like YouTube takes advantage of or wants to promote videos that will have a lot of watch time in them, this is what video game companies want too. Adjustments to seed values reflect recent gameplay. More recent machine learning algorithm is used to decide on seed value based on interaction data. Now, this is something that EA has widely denied using. While it's interesting that it's been affecting the FIFA community so long, it's finally come into kind of the other sides of gaming community, which is when I finally decided to cover it. Not that I knew about it, but finally I was getting leads about this pretty insidious practice. The idea is, of course, in FIFA, people can buy packs, essentially options to improve their team, and then the more borderline your gameplay might be, the more just one little more. See, the thing is, I'm sure that these sliders aren't used to entice players who are getting blown out to stay in the game. They're probably used to entice games to stay close and still make the player lose, especially ones that, given your username's history in EA's database, if you are prone to purchase microtransactions. Essentially, the way this patent works out is, to me, a scientific method for milking cash out of the most likely players to put cash into games. EA's official patent for AI Dynamics, aka EADS, edited so the official patents are AIDDR at the front. Here's a summary, of course. Some other non-limiting examples of features in the video game can be modified, which may not be detectable by the user, may include providing extra speed to in-game characters, improving throwing accuracy of an in-game character, improving distance or height of in-game character can jump, adjusting the responsiveness of controls, and the like. In some cases, adjustments may additionally or alternatively include reducing the ability of an in-game character rather than improving the ability of an in-game character. For example, the in-game character may be faster but have less shooting accuracy. It doesn't take a huge leap of imagination to apply this to FIFA. Now, I am not a player of FIFA, so I wasn't aware of this, but knowing and now covering more of the video game industry, knowing that this is likely applied to other EA titles is pretty frightening. Now, we saw Corey Andres today, he is a global franchise lead community manager for EA, speaking out on the subject, saying, Hey all, we've posted an official statement on DDA, which is dynamic difficulty, over on our forums here. We're going to take a look at that. In short, none of this is in EA Sports FIFA now or previously. So they're going with the, sure, we took all the time to patent, sure, we took all the time to figure all of this out. We figured out how to maximize revenue off our players, but we, EA, care more about the integrity of our company, and we have chosen not to do what we can do to maximize profits. Obviously, the responses are pretty hilarious. Lies, BS, okay, X to doubt. Kirk goes on to say, quote, the technology was designed to explore how we might help players that are having difficulty in certain areas of the game have an opportunity to advance. Why would you even want to interfere? The idea is so messed up. Let two players play and let the better player win. Simple. Corey goes back to say, probably the reason it isn't in the game. Kurt, so they wrote an entire patent to not even use it? Corey, I can't speak to what EA does on other titles, only FIFA. It's not in our game. Obviously, most people are not buying it. It wasn't a lie. It was designed to investigate how we could potentially use it to help players, but it never got used. I don't believe this. I don't believe EA. Imagine, Now, this isn't to rag on Corey because he may or may not have any real knowledge other than maybe his boss told him, hey, we didn't use it. Corey's not a developer. Maybe he doesn't know. But if you look at the deep dive into the actual information inside that patent, EA admits to mining data on your user's past purchase history and your propensity to buy further microtransactions. Imagine this, a huge global multinational corporation who answers to shareholders on profitability has essentially the recipe to guarantee maximizing profit out of the players and chooses not to use it. I don't know if I buy into all of that. Now, if we look at the tiny response they have, it's pretty sad, saying, we've heard your concerns around DDA, patent family, here and here. You wanted to confirm that it is not used in EA Sports FIFA. We would never use it to advantage or disadvantage any group of players in any of our games. The technology was designed to explore how we might help players that are having difficulty in certain area of the game have an opportunity to advance. In line with this statement and the forum rules, we will continue to remove discussions and posts around the subject. This is due to conversations often being non-constructive and having the tendency to derail threads. So let me translate this. We are denying that we've ever used this technology that we probably spent millions of dollars to develop and test, and we are also shutting down any conversation on the matter now and in the future because reasons. I don't believe EA on this. When you read the fact that they know basically at a user's level your historical propensity to buy microtransactions, and then in the very same patent detail in depth how they can tweak little tiny things inside of a game. Imagine a mobile game where you had to complete a jump to finish a level. They also know that if you are, based on your history, after you finish 5 levels, you are likely to purchase microtransactions. You expect me and the rest of the gaming community, which, by the way, I sincerely hope has decided to both like and comment on this video and consider sharing it because people need to know. I have been open about the fact that I enjoy sports games. I know a lot of my viewers don't. They think they're for normies. That's fine. I love them. I was a yearly purchaser of Madden and games like MLB The Show for many, many years. And only after last year, I finally gave up on buying Madden because essentially I was paying $60 every year for simply updated rosters. EA uses their sports titles like FIFA, Madden, and NHL and NBA like car manufacturers use cars. Every year, the car manufacturers know exactly the absolute bare minimum of things that they have to give you, the purchaser, to get you to want to buy a new car. This is exactly what we see with EA and their sports games. What is the absolute minimum we can do to make sure you purchase this year's new FIFA? They're already built in with this huge advantage of people needing new jerseys, jersey updates, people wanting roster updates and things like that. But when we talk about the actual feature improvements of these games, they're minuscule year over year over year. Their sports games should probably be a subscription-based service where you just get updates to the roster every year for $10, but that's not what they do. They want to do $60, plus they want to sell you packs of cards. Now, I have never purchased any of these packs, but I'm guessing 5 to 10% of the community does. These are the people that pay for a lot of what goes on in EA. The fact that they are willing to shut down any conversation is curious to me, especially since the publicly available patent is out there, and all we have now is this random comment from EA like, yeah, obviously it's there and we have all this amazing technology to maximize profit and make our shareholders happy, but we didn't use it. We're not going to provide any reason why we didn't use it. Maybe it was illegal. Maybe EA was worried about that. Remember that EA is panicking right now because in the U.S. government, we're looking at laws in and around the loot box system, and it is no doubt in my mind that we're going to see more regulation around loot boxes and things of that nature. In the mobile gaming market, predatory microtransactions are absolutely something that the government is going to get involved with because the gaming community couldn't police itself. We have the ESRB, we have other watchdog corporate companies, but they're all bought and paid for. The gaming community couldn't police it. We couldn't show restraint and not purchase this stuff. So now we're going to get probably the worst solution, which is the government getting involved in video games, which will be bad for everybody. But I guess EA totally saying, hey, we didn't use it, trust us, is a great thing. I hope you've taken the time to consider sharing this out there so people know what they're getting into here. If you choose to believe EA, that's on you. If you like and want to continue to enjoy those games, you shouldn't feel bad about it. But always remember that the game itself has technology, even though they've said they haven't used it, in place where that they can make your experience better or worse based on your historical propensity to buy microtransactions. And that, the fact that the technology exists and we know about it, is frightening. I hope you were entertained and educated by this video. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you again real soon.